Hey guys, welcome back to Corn Dog Caravan. I am Ray, and this is part of the kind of DIY Work on Your Promaster series. So today's video, different day, same shirt. We are working on the cold air intake air filter, the engine air filter. I'm Ray, and you're watching the Corn Dog Caravan channel. My wife Chris and I decided there's more to life than working and doing house projects. So we sold everything we own, built out a Ram Promaster we call Lotus because others think it's stupid, and are traveling full-time, seeing friends, family, and exploring the beautiful country around us, along with our two Boston Terriers. Today we are using the STP SA11950, and unfortunately I am not sponsored by STP in any way. I wish I was. That would be nice. So as the plane flies overhead, we're going to come over here to where is the air intake. Well, oh man, where is it? Oh, it's right here. So this is the air. Basically, air comes in here and here, which is the front of the vehicle, runs along through this channel, comes through this little tube here. Air comes in here, comes down, comes up underneath. And then the clean air comes up through the filter and through here and then into your air intake of your engine. But to get to the filter, it is really simple. We're only going to need a couple of tools. You can use, you'll definitely either need, well, I'm just going to throw out, have a Phillips-head #2 screwdriver. Same one I use for my air intake for the cabin air filter. A moderate length flathead screwdriver, about the same length as the Phillips. And if you have a metric set, whether it's 1/4 inch or 3/8, you're going to need an 8mm socket, or I believe it's a 7/32 socket if you want to kind of get close to the metric. But simply, in the steps of order to remove the air filter, my suggestion is to remove and loosen this particular hose clamp here, and you'll just, this, I can't figure the logic. This one, you can either use the socket or you can use a flathead screwdriver. Same with this guy right here. You can loosen that complete. Well, you're not going to completely dismove the van, but you're going to loosen it enough where this is going to lift up, and I'll show you in a minute how that's going to work. Once that is loosened out, then we're going to be able to easily get to this cover that holds the filter in place. But you really can't get all that out unless this has been removed. So I'm going to get this removed first and then that second. So either using a flathead screwdriver, I'm just going to come in here, left to loosen, right to tighten. Alright, so that is pretty loose. Let's go right here. Again, you can use the socket. And by the way, these are not super tight. You're not holding the engine and you're just holding the air box or the tubing in. So that is loose enough. Get my screwdriver so I don't lose it. You know what I like to do with my hand right here at the edge, just kind of start jiggling it loose a little bit from the housing. And at the same time, also too, before you remove it, look at these little marks at the, I guess from the factory, maybe somebody dropped a marker, or that was their way of marking where this thing goes. So remember where this mark is, because when you're putting this back in, there's only one place it goes. There's 4 screws, and there is a sequence, or I guess a layout where the screws go, and there's only one way to put this in. So just remember where that mark is. The yellow mark right there. If you don't have a mark, put your own there. Lipstick, nail polish, whatever you want to use. Alright, so I started moving my fingers in here and started getting this loose. So you will see right here, that is the stop. Right here, that's where it will, where this boot will stop when you're pushing it in. And I'm just going to continue to kind of wiggle this out. I'm going to have to put the camera down. Okay, like magic in Hollywood, I have pulled this completely back and this twist out of place because that's loose also. And then simply lift up on this on the ground so I don't lose it. Not that I could. And then let's come back and look at the filter. We are coming to replace the filter. Now, you're going to see that this one is all nice and white inside. It's because I already changed it. So I realized after I changed it, I should have probably videoed, and I didn't. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take you through the sequence. I've already removed the air intake, you know, the housing. But what I'm going to do next is there are 4 screws holding this cover in. One here, one here, one here, and one in the back. And right. Try to point to it with my screwdriver. Right down here. So I'm going to loosen those and take those out. And it's, you can either use a Phillips-head screwdriver, potentially a flathead, or you can also use the 8mm socket. So use whichever you like to use. The socket obviously would be the preferred. The Phillips would be probably second, and third would be the flathead. But you'll see here, these are not torqued down. These are easy to remove. And you'll kind of just feel once you've gotten it up, out. Just get these loose and loose. And when you go to lift this housing, if the housing doesn't come up, then you've got to turn the screw a little bit more. So let me get these loosened and then we'll lift it off. All right, so I have the 4 screws completely loosened, but they are still laying in the flange. Now, when you go to remove this, you'll need to kind of come up a little bit, turn it, and there's like one. There we go. Didn't really take any effort. Don't force it, don't break it, because then that just means going to the dealer and buying another one. So again, there's your little marks. There's that little yellow mark, and I saw the red mark, but you may not have, but there it is. I'm just going to sit this here off to the side. You could also use this as a time to wash it up good, which I probably do. There's my intake. So there is the filter. So here's the pretty deep filter. So here is the filter. So that just simply comes out. Now, this filter is probably about 4 days old. I took the original one out and replaced it. So this was the SDP filter. And then down inside, that's what it looks like. Bottom of the filter fits into that little center disc. You'll know what's in there. Look inside. I guess you could look for mice or something like that. But you can see right here, I'm going to show you. So when the air is coming in from the front of the hood, it's coming in through this sidewall here. I think earlier I said it came in from the bottom, but it's actually right through here. Via this line that comes up to the front. Yeah. So it comes in, circulates through, and then gets the cold air. Air comes in through here, through the filter, and at the top of the filter, the air is coming through the filter, up at the top, and then coming in to the engine. So don't put anything in there, because that'll go into your engine. That's it, guys. So reverse order, put the filter in. It sits in there like so. It doesn't click in or anything. Reach on the ground, grab that cover, make sure that little yellow mark is right where it needs to go. Or maybe not. There we go. There we go. Come in that way, as you just saw. Bring it over. Then you're going to look at the top here. That's going to go right on center with that. There's the filter. And then you're going to use at least one of these. So there's the screw, bolt, whatever you call it. And that's where it goes into. So I need to turn this just a little bit. And once that's sitting on there, just kind of feel it. It's going into place. And then I'm just going to hand turn these screws. These also, they're not machined. They are more like a wood screw or metal, sheet metal screw. Really coarse thread. And just kind of going around and getting those started. Just making sure that they're going in the right spot. We're not going to strip. So if you can't turn them by hand, turn it a little loose to the left, turn it a few turns, and then slowly turn it back to the right until it catches in the groove. So tighten these back down, and then I'll put the next piece in next. Alright, so I've got all 4 screws in and tightened. You see there's the filter, so the air comes again around the filter, through the filter, up through this big hole, and then into the engine. So next we're going to take the air intake tube. And we're going to slip this on to the top first, so it slips on, and then we'll be, so it's on. I don't want to tighten that yet, because what we got to do next is get this, pull this back a little bit, turn it, and get it back on this tube. And usually it does take 2 hands. See how well I do with 1 hand. I'm going to need to. Be right back. Okay, so I know that seemed like hours, but it really was only about 30 seconds to get that back on. So now I'm just going to slip my flathead screwdriver into this hose clamp. And again, doing this one-handed just feels different. Socket would actually probably work a little bit easier. And you're just going to tighten this down to it's pretty snug. It's a pipe clamp. You're not trying. It's not holding water or radiator fluid or gasoline. It's just holding air. So just get it down so it's snug. And here at the front, same thing. So that is tight. So guys, that is it. Now, if you want, like any project, you want to come back and check, you know, kind of everything, make sure it's still tight after you've driven it. I don't know, 10 or 15 miles, 100 miles, 1,000 miles. You do what you want to do, but just make sure that this piece here is all the way on this plastic housing. To make it even slip it a little easier, you could slide maybe a little, I don't know, something like Armor All or something, just to kind of lubricate the 2 pieces here to make that slip in. Same here for the rubber seal here. You don't want anything that's going to harm the rubber, make it melt. Just put something, maybe even just, you know, kind of wet your finger and get it a little wet there and just slip it on easy. So that is it, guys. So we have now completed the oil change. If you've been watching the channel, oil change, transmission fluid. We did the drain, the filter, and fill there. Everything is going great with the transmission. I'm now at, I think, 49,000 miles. Did the air filter change for the engine, did the cabin air filter change, did the oil filter change. So there's really no other filters to change. Maybe I need to change. Speaking of change, let's talk about something else. Coming in kind of a, no, we'll save that for another video. So there's the engine bay, everything is good. So again, use the STP air filter, SA11950. But look up on Amazon, look wherever you want to buy the filter. I don't care, I'm not sponsored by anybody. STP, if you want to sponsor, I'll take your money. So guys, if you like what you see, hit that like button on this video, subscribe if you haven't already, it's free. Hit the notification bell, and also if you have any questions about the install, hit comment below. Even the little doggy across the street wants to comment. So guys, hope you like it. Thanks. Hey, what are you doing in there? You're still watching? If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and let us know if it was helpful. Also, please comment below if you have any questions about the van build or suggestions about the future content as we build out this channel. Follow us along our journey on Facebook or Instagram using Corndog Caravan. If you're not a subscriber, please hit the subscribe button and tell your friends about our channel.